These are the two luckiest astrological rising signs, in my opinion, that are going to benefit from the transit of Jupiter in Taurus. Okay, first one, it's going to be Aries rising. Why? Because for Aries rising, Taurus is ruling your second house of earned income, your savings. So what does this mean? You're going to be getting the moolah, you're going to be saving more, you're going to be accumulating more money within the next year. Keep in mind, Jupiter is going to stay in Taurus for about a year, okay? So it began May 1st, so it's going to end roughly around the same time, okay? But you're going to be able to save more for Aries rising, and it's also going to increase likely your intake or consumption of like luxury foods. Why? Because you got more moolah to spend, right? It makes you a little bit naive in terms of your spending, okay? So just don't overestimate how much money you're getting, okay? Because money comes and goes, right? But it's going to increase your savings. So I would say try to maximize your earning potential. Try to save more. Again, second house is your savings, it's your earned income, it's money you also get from your job. And with this placement of Jupiter in the second house, it's going to aspect your sixth house of dead enemies. Jupiter brings blessings, so it's going to offer protection from your enemies. It's going to offer protection from illnesses. So you might be able to overcome particular health issues. You might be able to overcome enemies, or let's say you have a pending court case, you could be winning over your enemy in court. Let's say you owe debts, you could be paying off debts during the next year. So it could make you a little bit naive in terms of, you know, feeling overly optimistic, because Jupiter is optimism when it pertains to paying off a loan. So yeah, some of you guys may be paying off a loan within the next year or so, okay? For Aries people, Aries rising, this could also pertain to you guys if you guys are an Aries sun. What else is this going to do? It's going to aspect your 8th house of joint marital assets. So during this time, you could benefit from joint marital assets if you guys are married, looking to marry. It could make you benefit from loans as well. It could also increase your knowledge when it pertains to the occult. It could make you a teacher of the occult. It could make you an astrologer during the next year or so. Maybe you just become very interested in astrology. You could have someone come into your life that proves to be a teacher to you when it pertains to the occult. Maybe you start consulting astrologers, psychics, tarot readers, so on and so forth, right? And lastly, this is also going to bring great benefits to your career sector, okay? You could get promoted in your job. Your father could also be getting, you know, some form of good luck, because the 10th house represents the father. But overall, I want to say for Aries rising, it's probable that you guys like land a good job, promotion is going to increase your income. That's going to bring a higher sense of status to you guys during this time. You guys could end up, if you guys have family business, maybe you take over your family business. You could be inclined towards a career in finance or teaching during this time. Not for all the Aries rising, but for a few of you guys, okay? Your relationship with your father might be really good during this time period as well. So those are the benefits of the Jupiter transit in Taurus for the next year or so for the Aries rising natives. Now let's jump into the benefits of the Jupiter transit in Taurus for the Cancer ascendant natives, okay? So for Cancer ascendants, Jupiter is going to be sitting in the sign of Taurus in the 11th house. What does this mean? The 11th house is your hopes, wishes, and desires, okay? So this is going to bring blessings to you. You guys could at last be obtaining your hopes and wishes and desires. Like you have some form of wish fulfillment coming to you guys. So like, let's say you're a female with this placement, you guys could be meeting your spouse this year if you're not married already. You could also be finally doing the things that you guys have been wishing and wanting to do for a very long time, like traveling. You could also obtain massive gains during this time, because the 11th house is a house of gains, okay? This could also indicate that your friends, your network circles are likely to expand. If you guys are a social media person, it's very likely that your following ends up increasing within the next year or so if you're a Cancer rising in media. You could also benefit from the elder sibling during this time period, okay? So overall, you might feel like a sense of emotional fulfillment within the next year or so, because you're going to be getting your wishes and desires fulfilled for Cancer rising. Now, let's move on to the aspects of the other houses for the Cancer rising people. So this is going to aspect your third house. The third house represents your siblings, neighbors. So again, you might be doing more communicating, more gossiping with like your fellow neighbors, siblings. You guys could be more involved in media. So again, if you work in these career fields, like let's say media, journalism, writing, communication, you're gonna be achieving quite a lot during this time period because that's what the third house represents. Anything associated to media and communications. You might have a lot of luck in these fields if you work in these fields. You'll also have a lot of bravery in your communication, and you'll have more of a gung-ho to go after what it is that you want in life. If you work in sales, you might excel pretty well during the next year. Now, Jupiter's aspect onto your fifth house. So again, this is if you're single, this is going to open a plethora of dating options to you guys. You're going to be doing more fun things. You're probably going to be like going to like concerts or like let's say theater shows, or let's say you're trying to conceive or trying to have a child. This could also bring about a child, especially if you're going through your Jupiter Mahadasha or time period. So watch out for pregnancies if you're not wanting to get pregnant, but if you are, this could bring about, luck in this aspect. Children are likely to bring about a lot of optimism and joy and happiness for those of you guys who do have children. You might begin to interact quite a lot with children during this time period as well. Some of you guys might even go back to school because the fifth house does deal with like college education as well. Now, its aspect onto the seventh house. The seventh house is the house of marriage, legal business partnerships, your spouse. So you could benefit from your spouse. You could end up getting married during the next year. You could end up meeting your spouse if you guys are single. You could also be winning court cases during this time period because the seventh house represents courthouses. You might find yourself having to commute more to courthouses. This could also indicate lots of gains through marriage, through your spouse, legal business partnerships if you guys are in business. You might be doing a lot more contract deals if you guys are in business. And your spouse can also become a great source of friends for you and professional contacts as well. And they're also going to help you achieve your dreams. So I would say like right now for the next year, it's a good time period to either get married or start dating if you're single. If you have pending court cases, it's likely you guys end up winning.